Jerry, the Chess Chronicle, here once again with more chess oddities, chess intricacies, and chess laughs. Today I'm going to talk about what I find a little odd. That's, as opposed to wood, when you buy a chess set with plastic pieces. What happens is you get the pieces in these little plastic bags. So now you either have to save those bags, find some other bag, big plastic bag, or in the 70s they used to use, I used to see people with Crown Royal bags. Not that I'm suggesting you take up drinking, no matter how bad your last chess game was. Other than that, generally people end up having to buy a bag for the pieces, usually like about $5, or even go so far as to buy the full-on carry bag. These things I think run like $8 to $10. And of course, there's always the possibility of taxes and shipping. The one thing nobody ever seems to think about, though, is making your own chess bag. So, today I'm going to show you how really simple and easy that is. What you do is you get 2 pieces of fabric. I tend to use felt. These cost me like 30 cents a piece at the local Walmart. Your fabric store is a good location, better location for this type of thing, because you also need needle and thread, as well as whatever you're going to use for your closure, for your either some sort of a drawstring or a cord, even a shoelace, although I wouldn't recommend that. You can, besides creating a drawstring, you can use Velcro, which I did once. I wouldn't recommend that, but it's doable. Or just a zipper, like what you get in most bags. But simply, prepare your needle and thread. Sewing machine's a lot quicker, but you can, as I am about to show you, you can do it easily enough by hand. You want to properly line up your two 5x8 pieces of material. You want to start about 1 inch down, because you're going to need to eventually fold over to create your little drawstring tube or whatever. So you start like maybe about 1 inch down on the fabric. Just proceed to sew yourself closed. You could just go simply back and forth through the fabric. As you can see, you've got to be careful about catching the thread onto the bottom corners of the fabric. And you could even just do a stitch around the edges. As you can see, I'm not exactly even on the sewing, and actually that doesn't matter at all. And the reason why it doesn't matter at all is because when you're done sewing your way all the way around, I don't want this to be too long a video, so I will stop sewing at this point. And complete the bag later. But you will eventually sew your way around from where you started, around to about the same point on the other side. You then will knot off the thread within itself. And then what's key, not required, but I found a very useful thing, is you then turn it inside out. By doing that, you pucker the corners of the bag. So the bottom corners of the bag pucker inward. And of course, it hides your seams. So you can't really see what you sewed. So it doesn't matter that it's not perfectly straight if it's not perfectly straight, whether by hand or by a sewing machine. Once you have done that, you then will get to the point where you will be folding over the 1-inch edge. So on both sides, you'll fold over the 1-inch edge. You will again sew these clothes to create the tube for your drawstring. You must be extremely careful not to penetrate the string, whatever you're using for a drawstring or cord, because then it does not have the flexibility of a good drawstring, which is what you would have otherwise if you didn't. If you did end up catching it. So if you, without, you can see how this one I was able to pull it really, really tight, and it comes out loose. So if I had caught the thread on the drawstring somewhere, like here, then when I pull it, well, this part won't pull any further, so all I'm pulling is like from one part of it. So that makes it not as effective as a drawstring. So you want to be very careful not to, whatever you're doing for a drawstring or a cord, not to dip the needle into that cord at all. That's why you want your lip a little bit underneath, and although you can, do your lip and then put the string through, that's very time-consuming, sometimes very difficult. It's easier if you basically when you are preparing to do whatever your cord or string you have, that you put it within what you fold over, and sew it closed that way. That is, I'm not sure if you saw that or not. So you're going to want to sew closed on each side with the cord underneath will be creating as far as the tubes for the drawstring or draw cord. You'll notice that I left about an inch, said to leave about an inch. That's going to create about a ½ inch tube for your drawstring. So for whatever you get, drawstring, cord, twine, even maybe colored yarn, whatever you use, you generally will want something about ½ to ¼ inch in diameter. That way it will easily fit within your tube that you end up creating. Not sure. So tube. And if you want, although it's not necessary, you can even maybe sew close the other edge or leave it open. Again, you must be careful when you sew that tube. That is vital. When you're done, you have your final bag done. You can put your pieces in it, even a small clock, or make a small bag for a small clock to fit in. And if you wanted to, you could sew on some sort of a patch, sew on lettering, embroider it, personalize your bag however you might want to. So that is the how you make your own chest bag. Not really hard. I've done quite a number of my time, and I will admit I even once was sewing during a chess game. So you really should concentrate on your chess games when you're playing them, and B, when you're doing the sewing, you should probably concentrate on that as well. Although, as I pointed out, the initial sewing down, and around and back up does not have to be perfect, because that's being turned inside out, so it's never going to be seen how even or uneven you were when you sewed. And as I said, that's how you make your own chess bag. So until next time, good luck, good chess, and goodbye.